Alrighty, let's get this going. I want to learn how to use this new feature. Public chat. How's everybody doing today? There it is. Nice. There we go. Okay, cool. I can see the chat. I can see you guys. Awesome. All right, we're gonna wait for a couple more people to trickle in, and then we will get started with everything. Carson, it's good to have you here, man. Alrighty, let's see here. Can you guys hear me well? All right, I'm gonna put this on the right side here. It's gonna be a good one today. Yes, new venue, Brian, new venue. It's just so we can stream to multiple platforms, and it would just make things a whole lot easier to do it this way. But then again, I got to get used to it. So I I'll make sure that that I do that. Good to have you, Marcel, in here. Nice. Thank you guys for letting me know you can hear me. Perfect. Everything started like popping up right at once. So I was like, okay. Um, all right. Couple new faces. Good to have you guys in here. We're gonna wait one more minute and then we're gonna get going with everything, okay? It's gonna be a good one today. It's more of like a obviously we're gonna be building like an appointment reminder assistant, but then again, it may seem simple. However, the way that I'm gonna show you is a bit tricky and a bit difficult because obviously we'll need to use API when it comes down to this, but I'll show you the easy version and then I'll show you the simple version and then I'll show you the hard version of it. But then again, it's going to be a fun one, so it doesn't even matter, right? So 30 more seconds and then we'll get going. I'm just going to drink something here. Okay, awesome. Let me know if you guys can see my screen right now. Oh, I'm going to share it with audio. Might as well, so I don't have to do it later. Okay. Are you guys able to see this? Uh, Dre, I wish I could answer that question. I'm guessing yes, it's being recorded. I just got kind of like thrown in here and it said, okay, go. Uh, but I'm guessing it is recorded. So yeah, you'll more than likely have the recording after this. So you should be good. Okay, perfect. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys obviously the document right here. I'm going to give you guys access to this so that way you have everything related to this webinar itself. I'm going to drop that in the chat. Okay. All right, yeah, and from there, right? So this is the usual Google Doc that I always give everybody with all the information that you need, as well as the meeting recording, which is a commonly asked question. Um, I'm gonna go straight into it. There's not much to cover when it comes down to this doc, so let's get straight on into it. This is Alice. Now, I'm gonna keep it very, very simple for you guys, as I usually do, but hopefully very entertaining. So, Alice is basically an SDR that's capable of reminding somebody of their appointment. For example, I book an appointment with Timmy over there, and basically Timmy has Alice set up to call me a day before the appointment, right? So Alice calls me. Alice tells me, "Hey, um, I saw that you have an appointment for this, and this time. Are you good to still join us tomorrow or whatever it is, right? Um, Alice can do three things, right? She could either confirm the appointment, she could cancel the appointment, or she could reschedule the appointment. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to do all three of these with the nice to good to have you here as well, Lewis. Yeah, I'm going to teach you guys how to do the three of these with Alice, and this is going to be super exciting. Um, let's do this. All right. So first things first, I'm going to go over a little bit of the settings so you guys are able to just replicate exactly what I have because why not, right? So we have obviously the usual engine right now, which is 1.0. However, to keep you guys updated with everything, 2.0 will be going off of 2.0 will be way better like 2 to 3 weeks from now because we're constantly doing updates, as you guys have noticed. So our main objective right now is to make 2.0 as good as possible. Right now, it's more or less par with 1.0, and then soon enough, it's going to be way better than 1.0. I can guarantee that, especially with the different features that it comes with. For now, obviously, for the time being, for the upcoming 2 weeks, we're going to be using 1.0. All right. So, obviously, the normal AI model, we're going to be using GPT 4.0. The time zone, you can select your time zone to, wherever your location is at. In my case, it's Eastern. And then, obviously, we have the voice section. So, this is one of the best voices that I've figured out recently. So this is Callie. Callie, basically, think about Callie as just like a usual, very upbeat receptionist. That's really how it is. And then obviously these are my settings for Callie. This definitely depends per voice, as I've told each and every one of you guys. Basically the voice is not only a voice but a personality. Okay, if the voice that you hear from 11 Labs is very upbeat, it's going to be a very upbeat voice throughout the call. If it's very urgent, it's going to show urgency throughout the call, right? So you got to make sure that you choose a voice throughout 11 Labs that makes sense for you. There's a couple tricks to doing this, but yeah, it's going to be it's something that you could do like on yourself. So let's go ahead and go through the call configuration here. Now, these are just my normal settings. I just keep them more than likely. These are the ones that never change. I just have 1 second for a pause before speaking. I have my max idle duration at 15. Voicemail is ML based, and then idle reminders are at 7 seconds. Completely fine. And nothing needs to change here unless you have anything to do for consent, which is actually a new feature here, which is awesome. But we'll talk about that in a later webinar. Now, from here, we are going to go over the prompt. So let's go ahead and make this into a quick document here. All right. So this prompt is actually, I think I already have a good document here that we could use. Let me pull that up so that way we don't have to, we have a better format of it basically. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So basically, this should be, Cash should be Alice. All right. So basically, Alice, she is going to be doing the stuff that I mentioned. Um, now, this is the way that I always format my prompts. This is just the best format that I figured out that works with SynFlow, and this is actually what we've made our native prompting format. So if you guys want to follow what I format, how I format it, you can definitely do so. You could use your own style. It's really up to you. Just know that this is the format that I've seen most performance on. Um, Now I'm basically telling here the voice AI that who they are, right? So Alice, the visionary responsible for confirming and managing appointments for scheduled calls. Her job is to ensure that leads are reminded of their meetings, assist with rescheduling if needed, and handle any concerns um, that they may have about the call. Contain a warm, professional, and conversational tone to make the experience seamless and as human-like as possible. Then I give you the purpose of the call, right? The goal of the call is to see if the user is able to attend the meeting they have booked or if they need to reschedule or cancel their appointment, right? So here we assist with rescheduling if necessary. handle objections or concerns to reduce cancellations, which obviously, if somebody wants to cancel an appointment, we don't want them just canceling. We want, first of all, we want a reason why they're looking to cancel. Um, and then we want to try and convince them, right? We don't want the AI to just give up as soon as somebody mentions that they're going to cancel. And that's not the point. That's not why we have them here, right? So then maintain a conversational and helpful tone to ensure the smooth experience. And a better way to do this, because obviously I had a limited amount of time to make this prompt. Uh, a good way to do this is by giving the voice AI examples, right? This is basically what GPT thrives on. If you give GPT, which is basically who we're talking to right now, examples, then you are going to be able to have a better flowing conversation. Now, what do I mean by this? If you don't want the voice AI to say things like nice or awesome or great or whatever, like things like that, you have to give, you have to tell the AI to not do that. And then you also have to give it better, how do I say this? Better things to replace those phrases with, right? So that's how you create a more human-like conversation throughout this. But let's proceed on to call actions, right? So here's how I format my call actions, which is basically quote unquote a script, right? So first of all, it's the custom greeting, and I say after the custom greeting, which is this, I don't tell it say this. Um, I say, if you get interrupted while saying the custom greeting, repeat the greeting again. If the lead confirms that this is, oops, that it is their name, proceed to the step called confirmation of appointment. If they say you have the wrong number, respond, got it. Did you book a meeting with Visionaire, which is uh, a pretend company, basically, by any chance? And then if they didn't book a meeting, politely end the call. Right? So there's different ways to do this. If you want to change this up as however you can. However, this is the way that I've seen work the best, at least for the initial custom greeting, which is where I see usually the most complications when actually making live calls. Right? So if they are looking to confirm the appointment, right? We follow this step right here. And I'm going to go on a high level real quick. This custom greeting is first of all to just understand if this is the right person, if we're talking to the right person, right? Then from here, you look at this key part of the prompt here that says proceed. If the lead confirms that it is their name, proceed to confirmation appointment, which is this right here. Now, in this section, we're going to determine what the heck happens after it, right? So what does this mean? We're going to determine whether they're going to cancel an appointment, whether they're going to reschedule it, or confirm the appointment. That's really all it is. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I convert the current time zone of the user, which is sent by the call, obviously from Go High Level. So right here, we collect the current time zone of the user, and then we convert that time zone. So let me just read this out to you to make it a little simpler. I need you to make the conversion of the time zone for the user. Make sure that the event time is in EST. Make sure that the event time in EST, which is where we set the assistant to, is converted to the user's time zone. That's literally all we're doing. We're just converting the meeting time, which is where it's usually booked inside your calendar, over to the user's time. So the user doesn't get confused, basically. If you guys have any questions on that part, obviously, I know that's like one of the most confusing parts of like this prompt itself, because we have it do basically an equation. But if you guys have like any doubts on that, obviously let me know. So after we convert the meeting time into the user's time zone, we then have we record the result as user's event time. So think of this user's event time as like a variable that you could use throughout the call. Okay, so that's what I'm teaching the voice AI inside the prompt. Now here I use that variable. I say perfect name. This is Alice, the AI visionary. I'm just checking in to confirm your call with Kevin tomorrow at, here's the variable, user's event time. So it will use the time zone of the user as the event time, so they won't get confused and say, "What? I didn't book the meeting for that time. I booked it for this time." Right? So keep that in mind. It is super important, right? Whenever you want to set a reminder. Now, if they confirm, if they confirm, say something like, "Awesome, we're looking forward to it," blah, blah, blah. This basically just means that they confirmed their call. That's really all it is. They're able to meet with you tomorrow, right? However, if they hesitate or show doubts, I take them to objection handling, which is a section down here, right here. If they want to reschedule, proceed to rescheduling, which is a section right here. If they want to cancel, proceed to cancellation handling, which is a section right here. You guys understand that? Like we're basically pointing them. Think about this like as a tree. We're identifying where they need to go down to, and we're sending them that direction. That's what you want to do when creating a prompt. If you don't do it this way right now, then and you give the voice AI too much free will, it's just going to start hallucinating and inventing stuff along the way. You don't want to do this because that's what really will confuse the voice AI and will decrease the performance of it. So please keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, basically here, what we do is we reschedule. So now we're going to do the same thing, right? No worries. Let's get that handled right now. What day and time would work better for you? Okay, so this is if they're rescheduling. If they provide a new time, proceed to the step called booking appointment. You see how I'm leading them down to another step now? So that other step here is super complicated to the point where they're able to book the appointment at the end of it. Okay? So basically that's how I go about my prompts. I point them to the direction that they need, and then I have specific sections that actually do the action. Okay? So kind of the same similar thing for cancellation, except for here um they don't need to get sent to booking an appointment. They just let them know like, okay, if you want to cancel, this is what you need to do, or I can cancel it for you, whatever it is. Just keep in mind that the email that you received when you booked the call, you can cancel it anytime from there. All right, so that's just another way that they could just use to cancel. All right, now after that, after they book an appointment, we want to confirm the user's email, which we do right here. And with the confirmation of the email, we will be able to send them obviously an email confirmation of their appointment. And then after this, we want to confirm the phone number, right? So we confirm the phone number, but we don't say, "Hey, what's your phone number?" We say, "Hey, is this the best phone number to reach you on?" Obviously, you're calling their phone number, right? Is it the best one? You want to act as human-like as possible when it comes down to this, or don't. Maybe you want to tell it that it's an AI, but you get my gist. So from here, if it's their best number, perfect. You just mark it down with an info extractor and let them know. Perfect. That's it. That's all we need for that. Okay. Now, by the way, if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments right now. I got you guys in just a sec. So then I have this variable, which is another action that basically is just to end the call, right? Now, this end the call section is so it never ends the call abruptly. Super important to have this, just because if you don't have this, once it reaches the goal, it's just going to end the call without saying anything, which is not what we want. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example that I did, just because I know we have limited time. Let me know if you guys are able to hear this.
Hi, am I speaking with Kevin?
Yeah, this is Kevin. Who's this?
Perfect, Kevin. This is Cass, the AI visionary. I'm just checking in to confirm your call with Kevin tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Are you still good to go?
Oh yeah. I remember that. Can we reschedule it?
No worries at all. Let's get that handled right now. What day and time would work better for you?
Does 8 p.m. EST on Monday work?
Let me check that for you. One moment. Unfortunately, 8 p.m. EST is outside our available hours. How about we try for a time earlier in the day, Maybe around 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific time on Monday.
Yeah, that works. That works.
Great. You're all set for your appointment on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Also, just to confirm, is your email still the same?
Yeah, I have you should have it as kevcamposlopez@gmail.
Got it. And just to double check, is this the best number to reach you on?
Yep, it is. It is.
Awesome. You're all set for your appointment. Thanks for your time, Kevin. I'm looking forward to connecting soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I showed you guys the recording just so you could see more or less the gist of it and how it would sound like. And that was with all these features already implemented on there. So let's go into the automations, which is obviously a little bit of the harder part. So we'll start off with the initial one, which is AI calendar follow-up automation. Now, all we're doing in this one is we're basically identifying what calendar they came from, and then we're just sending them all the follow-up sequences. Okay? So first of all, how do we set up that trigger? Now, it's very easy. You're just going to type in booked appointment here. And then here we're going to do select in calendar, and then you select your calendar, whatever calendar it is. Okay? Then once you do that, you just go ahead and save the trigger, and it will be a trigger that shows up like this. In this case, I have 4 calendars connected onto here. So you will be able to have those 4 calendars, and then whenever somebody books a meeting, whenever somebody books a meeting, she goes and sends it. This automation gets sent down here, right? So, by the way, did I hear right? She switched to PST during scheduling, though. Yeah, that's right, Brian. So basically, I gave it to her in PST. Look, I'll show you right now. So while I was testing the assistant, I gave it to her as PST as my time zone, which is why she switched it over to PST. So that would explain it. But you see how she was able to do that with the sequence that I gave her, like the equation that I gave her. It made it super seamless. So let's go back here. Now, the first things that are going to be happening here, I don't need to explain the SMSs as well as the internal notifications. However, I will briefly. So basically, we send them an appointment confirmation first. We update the contact field. So this you do need to know. We're basically adding the calendar name onto this custom field right here, just so we know for the post-call data extraction automation what calendar they came from. Okay, so that's it. We save that action, and then from here, we're basically sending them an appointment confirmation email. And here we're sending ourselves an appointment notification, right? That somebody booked an appointment, and so on and so forth, right? Fairly easy. You guys, the only reason I'm not showing you guys how to do this too, like in detail, is because it really depends on how you want to do it, right? But in this case, it's just an internal notification that you can go in here, select email, and then you send it over to whoever needs to know about it. Okay? Now, from here, we send over an SMS. And in that SMS, you can basically confirm it to however you want to do it. And now we create a wait time. Now, in order to get it to show up like this, all you need to do is click on this right here and then click on event/appointment time. And then you want to select 1 day, right here, 1 day before the appointment happens. That's all you're doing, okay? Then we do a slight 10-minute delay here, and then we make the phone call here, right? So what are the variables that we're adding onto the phone call? Obviously, the model ID. We're adding the phone number of the person we're calling, which you can do by selecting this tag right here, contact phone raw format. And then you select name, which is contact first name, and then the API key of that contact. Super easy. Then there's 3 things you want to add on here. 3 very, very, very needed things. You want to add the name of the user. You want to add the event time. And then you want to add the time zone. Now, I added one thing here for you guys. that you might not have noticed. So right here, this lead name, all you can do is go to these variables on the left side. You can copy this and literally just like paste it right here. That's it. And then every time you call somebody, the lead name will be replaced by the actual lead's name, which you can gather from clicking this right here, right? First name. And this, it will actually replace it if they're a contact inside of Go High Level pretty easily. Now, from here, we have the event time. So this is basically checking when the appointment is starting, which is essentially what I showed you guys inside the prompt. And you select that one by clicking appointment, and then you can select any of these. Any of these is fine. But I just select start time. But you can select start date and time, whatever you want. Really, it doesn't matter. Whatever is more specific. So might as well. I could just do start date and time, no problem. Alrighty, and then of course we give the time zone of the user. So in order to do that, you just click on this again. An easier way to even look it up is writing time zone, and then there it is. Okay, so you save that action, and essentially this is going to make the call, right? Now, one sec. One sec, let me drink water. Awkward. So here, we basically want to make the call, right? So we make that call, and from this call, we're going to gather information from it. I don't need to explain anything down here because it's just the same thing. We're basically sending them a notification via email and SMS as well as yourself before the appointment even happens. That's basically it. And then we do that an hour before and 10 minutes before. But here, this is what really matters. So let's save that there. This automation is the holy grail of what you're going to have to use to identify everything that happens throughout a call. Okay? Now, how do we connect this? Let's go step by step. The first thing is we create a trigger that's called inbound webhook. Okay? Then we gather this URL from the inbound webhook, and then we send it to the assistant by, I'm just going to remove it here. It's going to be right here. It's going to be empty. You copy it there, and then you paste it and initialize. Then once you do that, you're going to see another thing pop up here, which is 1328, which is literally 128 my time, which means I did it just now, right? So I select this one, and then I save that trigger. What does this do? This basically maps out the info extractors. Where are they? Right here. The info extractors that I have right here onto the assistant, as well as the status of the calls that we make. Okay? So that's how we do it. And from here, let's go. Alrighty. Where did I leave off? Okay, yeah. So once you get that information from the inbound webhook, what is this going to do? This is basically going to send the information of the call every single time to this automation. So whenever a call finishes, it activates this automation right here. All right, so the first thing we want to do, obviously, since we don't have them found already, we find them as a contact. So in here, we find them by using their phone number, which you can do by you can get their phone number by going here, inbound webhook trigger, lead, and then phone number would be found right here. So that's how you find the contact. And they should already be a contact because they booked the meeting. So there's no need to update or create a contact either. And then from here on out, we add a note letting us know what happened right throughout the call recording, the call summary, the call transcript, the call ID. If you can add the model ID, you could also do that as well. However you'd like to do it and format it, you could do it yourself. But basically, this is so it puts a note to each and every single contact, making it easier for you to understand what happened throughout the call. Now, we add an if-else condition, as you can see right here, that identifies whether the call was completed, whether the call was failed, whether the user didn't answer the call, or whether they just reached the voicemail, right? So you want to do this with all of these, so that way you're able to identify what happened when we made that phone call. All right, so I'm just going to redo this one so you guys are able to see how it works. You're basically going to inbound webhook trigger, status, contains, and then completed. Now, what does that look like on SendFlow, right? You go to calls, and you guys are able to see this status right here that says completed, right? So there's different statuses that you guys can see. Completed, hang up on voicemail, busy, no answer, and failed. All we're doing is checking what happened throughout the call. Fairly simple, right? So from there, we are checking that, and we put them down their perspective path or branch inside of Go High Level, right? So if they didn't answer, right, you can do whatever you would like here, but if they didn't answer, we add them into a pipeline stage or an opportunity, which can be seen right here. All right. So these are all this is actually my appointment reminder at work, right? So we're able to identify whether the person confirmed, rescheduled, canceled, didn't answer, or failed the call. All right. So it's actually, working, as you guys can see. Like, it's something that generally people use, right? So we just add them into their respective pipeline stages. If they hung up on voicemail, we create that opportunity or update that opportunity for the user. And all you're going to want to do is put them in their pipeline stage, right? So right here, you can see, did they confirm? Did they reschedule? Cancel? No answer? Call failed? If they didn't answer, obviously, that's because they reached voicemail. So that's how we do it on there. And essentially, what would happen if they did answer that call? All right. So if they did answer that call, we're checking for three things. And let's first off go into the info extractor before going into detail there. In these actions, I have an info extractor that's a single choice. Okay. Did the user confirm, cancel, or reschedule their appointment? It's as simple as that. That's all I'm asking the AI assistant to check for me. And then it's going to give me one of three choices. They confirmed, they canceled, or they rescheduled. If it's none of these three, it's just going to come back blank. All right, so we save that. And this is exactly what we're checking for inside of this automation, doing the same thing. So what you're going to do is you go right here, you look up whatever you named the info extractor. And actually, now that I think about it, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. Contains and then confirmed. And this basically just checks whether they confirmed, right? That's it. If they confirmed, then we receive an internal notification telling us, okay, this person confirmed their appointment. And then you could add more details down here, super simply, if needed. But if they canceled, you would also receive a notification letting them know if you want to receive more information. Obviously, you could use these variables to do so. It's custom values. And then lastly, if they reschedule, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay. So there's a couple of things that go into this. You could do it two ways. Remember what I told you guys at the beginning of the call? I was going to show you guys a simple way. I was going to show you guys a hard way, right? But more efficient, essentially. So the simple way being just using the native integration that SynFlow has here with real-time booking. Let me show you. There you go. But I'm going to share some of the limitations about this, right? I think there's like 3 limitations. The first limitation is whenever you're booking an appointment, it's going to repeat things when fetching the calendar availability. It's going to say, okay, let me get some quick available times for you. Perfect. Checking for available times now. All right, so I found some available times. That's what it's going to say. Then the second thing is booking the appointment. She's going to say, all right, booking your appointment for time. Perfect. Booking your appointment for blah blah. And then it's gonna repeat it like two to three times, and it's gonna be like an awkward thing, right? You don't want to do that. That's another thing. But the main thing that is a problem here is what if you have multiple calendars? If you don't have multiple calendars, perfect, you're good. But if you do have multiple calendars, which most of the people do, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because you can only set the native calendar booking here to one calendar only. All right. So that's going to limit you greatly because you need to be able to book into multiple calendars. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys the alternative. This is the simple version, right? But the simple version is not always the best version. Okay. Now, but let's go over with the hard version. The hard version is the most efficient one, and it's the most trustworthy one. Oh, wait, actually, there's 4 things for the wrong one. For the simple version, if the last thing is for the simple one is if the assistant books somebody in successfully, but then the user changes their mind throughout the call and says, "Never mind, I want to book for this call for this time." The assistant's going to book them again without canceling the past meeting, meaning you have 2 meetings now. All right? So there's 4 things that go wrong with it. Now, with the hard version of it, we fix all of those 4 things. How do we do this though? We basically, first of all, we use this custom action, which is current date and time. And then you want to use another custom action, which is um, get free slots. And by the way, I'm pretty sure these are templates that I've made as well. Get free slots, right? Yeah. So you use these 2 in conjunction. All right. So the get free slots one is basically going to give you the available times that you have in your calendar. Now you may be thinking, well, how do I know it's my specific calendar, right? Well, you're going to make the calendar ID inside of this custom action dynamic. So in the prompt, you will be able to add all of your calendars, and then from go high level, you'll be able to send what calendar it came from. Hence, what this means over here, right? So you're able to do so. So if inside the prompt it says, okay, this person came from this calendar, it's going to grab that calendar ID, which you will have inside of the prompt. And it's going to check for available times from that calendar. Now, it's not going to book in the meeting inside of the call itself. Why? Well, because we're going to be booking the meeting after the call. All right. And as I mentioned in this here, I'm not going to go super into detail into the complicated version because obviously, as you guys can tell, it's already getting pretty freaking complicated. And we don't have enough time to cover everything. But basically, we're using these appointment bookings to book the appointment after the call. So we identify, okay, they wanted to reschedule. And then we check for the calendar, what calendar they came from. And then we book them into that calendar. All right, using an info extractor, date and time that we would get from the assistant right here. Okay, which I call appointment date. So that's the hard way to do it. If you guys want to do the easy way, obviously, all you need to do is forget about these custom actions right here. Oh, wait, no, you need this one. This one's good to have. And just add a real-time booking so it books the appointment, right? So I'm going to show you guys a little bit about this one because this one's very good. It's kind of a must-have in my opinion. This is basically gathering the current date. So that's basically it, right? We get the world time API here, And then from here, we're able to, you don't need any authorization, the configuration, you don't need anything. And then you just initialize the result and it gives you the current date and time on this specific location, right? So another cool thing that you guys might need is the available time zones. So if you guys are using Go High Level, I have collected basically all of the time zones that you guys need in order for you guys to be able to do this, right? So I'm gonna leave that inside of this right here. All right, so you guys are able to do so. Now, uh, yeah. So essentially, that is how I was able to build my assistant for my well, basically Alice, right? Entirely. And keep in mind, I understand that this is more like heavy on the automation side, but just keep in mind, voice AI is like that. You're going to have a voice AI. You can have a voice AI that easily is capable of doing some parts right without any automation or anything like that inside of just SynFlow, which is what SynFlow helps you do, of course. But every single voice AI platform will have a heavy toll with automation. You just need to include automation into every single voice AI, in my opinion. It just simplifies things. It gets things done in a better manner, and it tracks performance for the voice AI. That's really just how it is. Um, so, yep, and yeah, this is more like you mentioned, Peak. It's definitely go high level heavy type of automation. But then again, it wouldn't have mattered if I would have done this with Zapier, with N8N, with Make. It's all the same thing. You're gonna have to use one of them at the end of the day. We've just seen that Go High Level performs the best out of all of those, just because of one singular feature. Well, a couple obviously, but the main thing is you're able to get user preferences. So you're able to get information from the user by just using their phone number, which a lot of CRMs don't allow you to do. So that's something that's very, very good from Go High Level. Um, but yeah, obviously, as we go, maybe something better comes down the road, right? Okay, so I'm gonna answer some of your guys' questions. Please let me know down below so that way I'm able to know what you guys need help with, or if you guys have any questions from what I've shared. Obviously, I know it was a lot to take in. I'm sure you guys will have a recording, so you're gonna be able to go through everything once more. However, so far, voice AI is only getting more freaking complicated. So yeah, just keep that in mind as we go. All right. I didn't even go into past call identifiers, anything like that. This is just like a simple version of a voice AI. Well, simple. But as I told you guys, it looks like it's something easy to do, but when you start doing it, it gets a little harder. Obviously, reach hopefully these webinars help you guys out understand more or less how to format everything. However, you guys will get better at it the more you practice. Just make sure to practice every day. I have 14 hours of practice every day, guaranteed. So, all right. So I see a couple of questions here. Give me one sec. Okay. So, there's a show thing here. That's pretty cool. What does that do? Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'll do that. That's cool. So, this is how you access the Google document. Uh, I'm gonna give you guys the link once again if you guys missed it. There we go. So you guys are able to see from there, and then you have it. And hopefully that answers your question there, Nicole. So are you building this in Go High Level? Yes, I am. Brett, I do also like the simple workflow builder. But essentially we would still be sending information over to a CRM. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, if we're gonna be building this inside of the workflow builder on Synflow, we would still end up in Go High Level or another CRM at some point. All right, so that's why I chose Go High Level. All right, so we have this. So my question is, what if my client has another CRM to connect the calendars and transfer data from calls? Yeah, so if your client has another CRM to connect the calendars and transfer data from calls, then you are able to have to do you're gonna have to do this via API, but you would still be able to create the same type of flows inside of Go High Level. But from those flows, you would essentially be able to send information that you gather from Go High Level over to an API. So, for example, if you have the whole, you remember the note that I made? Let me show you guys. So, something like this, right? From the note that you made, you could send this over using a custom action. Sorry, a custom webhook is what they call it here. You could use a custom webhook that sends over information to another API call inside of that person's CRM. So that way you're able to send over the notes, the call transcript, and whatever it is you want to send over. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. So as long as the CRM that the client uses has an available API, can this be built in Synflow or does it need to be in specific CRMs? 100%. Like if your client uses specific available APIs, you could easily do this inside of on Synflow, and that's it, and just have it built on Synflow, right? I'm just using the most cost effective. Uh, all right, we're gonna go from there. All right, yeah. So I do have a school community. It's free. Um, so we have obviously the academy, which most of you guys probably came from there. And then I also have my community. So wait, let me go back here. Yeah, so in this community, I just basically talk to myself. No, I'm just kidding. There's 273 people that have voice AI in there. And essentially I'm just giving them a bunch of feedback, a bunch of value. And if you guys want to join, I'm gonna give you guys like uh the link here. Hold on. I'm just gonna drop it in the channel. I'm sorry. Well, Lewis, wait, I'm gonna reply to this real quick. Oh, and by the way, one thing. Uh, right here, I have a bunch of like guides that you guys can go through. So if you guys want to join and check these out, definitely do so. A lot of you guys are already in here. So yeah, let's go back into this. Okay, cool. And then yeah, this is my life, Lewis. Basically, this got generated, like these 38 messages got generated in an hour. So it's like I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up, but I can't because of the web. All right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Carson. Yeah, 100%, man. How did I see the 4.5? All right. So you're giving the go high level snapshot somewhere. So I don't have a specific go high level snapshot for this. We could talk about it if you want to send me a message. I could definitely go over it with you, Jay. But yeah, currently there's not like a set in stone snapshot for this yet. A different topic if you have time. I built an AI sales voice role to play custom GPT. And I needed to recreate a standalone app. How would I do it? FI if I have an agency, go high level. I'm not sure if I understand the question. So I built an AI sales voice. So voice AI for sales. I need to recreate it as a standalone app. Interesting. So kind of like Synflow. I'm not entirely sure if I follow here. But if you're looking to create like a voice AI for sales, then yeah, it's kind of the same process I showed today as well. But if you could elaborate a little bit more on that, then I'd be able to help out. Uh, do we do? Does this do stand-ups as well? Like for example, are you guys able to raise your hand? Sorry, I'm new to this as well. To this area here, so I want to see if I'm able to do to invite guests onto the stage, but I'm not sure. I don't think we can, but that'd be cool. This is plus. No, I'm guessing I can't. Yeah, voice AI role play. No, I just don't want it to open in want it to open in ChatGPT. Oh, Carson, it doesn't. Thank you, man. No worries. That's something they should add, though. That'd be cool to talk with people. um, yeah. What I could say is definitely message me about this voice AI roleplay after this. Because not entirely sure if I follow still, but either way, obviously message me and I always help out. Just join the community and then I can talk with you on there. Okay, math guy. All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions as well, I'm gonna be here for the next 9 minutes, and I'd be super happy to answer some of them. Voice AI related, of course, or automation. If you guys would like. Alrighty, let me see what else. Let me show you some cool stuff. Obviously, if you guys haven't watched the past webinars, it would be really, uh, yeah, it'd be really cool for you guys to check out some of the past webinars as well. So in here, I've done so many webinars, which I'm pretty sure a good amount of you guys might not have seen. And they're pretty good. Like if you guys want to go in through them, I've made a bunch of them, as you guys can see. Like every single Friday, I've pumped out a webinar. So go join the academy as well if you guys haven't. In here, I'm still gonna be doing all of these events, and I'm still going to be having like good good webinars, not basically kind of like this one, right? And it's like a replica in a sense. But yeah, definitely go and go look at the past recordings so you guys are able to learn a lot, especially the past call identifiers here. This is a really, really good one. So I'm gonna leave this in the chat for you guys as well, so you guys don't miss out on some good gold, basically. There we go. All right. So now they get a link to a GPT. I want them to link it. It doesn't matter. But yeah. Message me about it. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, man. I missed the very beginning where you described the decision to use Synflow to build the flow versus using Go High Level. I personally use Go High Level, so I don't think I've mentioned this, Alex. But I yeah. So essentially, what I do is I just build it on Go High Level just because that's where I have like my own CRM essentially. Yeah, and then we go from there. Andres, the support has moved over to the academy. So Discord has been abandoned. I'm pretty sure. So this is the new academy right here, and we all have like their own chat where everybody's messaging here. All right. So, and then for the prompt, yeah, definitely message me about it so that way I can we could talk about that. Jay and Gabriel, I have no problem. Alrighty. Yep. No problem, Alex. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. There we go. All right, fellas. One thing as well. I literally just remembered about this. Hold on. One thing as well is that in YouTube, I am posting some good videos that you guys can watch from here, so that way you're able to get more knowledge on this. So definitely check it out if you guys need to. And I've made a bunch of videos. If you guys are looking to get better with voice AI, definitely go down here. That's literally all I talk about. I literally don't shut up. Uh, so 100%, definitely join. It's gonna be super, super. Sorry, not join. Definitely watch these. It's gonna be super, super good. And yes, I'll drop the link again for the community as well. Your thoughts TV. And I'll approve some of you guys in here. Okay. All right. So let's stop sharing the screen here. Let's see. I love you too, Lewis, man. Give the people what they want. We're on the academy now, man. We're on Circle, not Discord. I think Discord will be closed down soon. So not sure. Yeah. Um hopefully that answers your question, Under. Alrighty. Let's see. Uh, okay. Perfect. All right, if you guys have no longer any questions, what's the voice you used? Yeah, so I used Callie. Callie, she's from 11 Labs. Callie or Jessica or Jennifer, those are all good voices that you can have inside of Simplum. I definitely recommend using any one of those. They're all pretty good. If you want a good one for the guy voice, Lucian is good. But there's so many. 11 Labs has thousands of voices that you guys can choose from. So definitely also check it out on there. And man, that's a bummer that I can't invite anybody upstage. No, she's from Cali. Yeah, she's also from Cali. She's both. Hmm, one thing actually. That's the name, because I know you might misspell it just in case. Gabriel, you use the 11 Labs API. No, well, it's already natively integrated onto Synflow, Alex. So you're able to use that API on there pretty easily. All you need to do is just import the voice, and that's it, which is an option. It's I'll stick around for the rest of the 2 minutes. If you guys have any other questions, obviously I'm gonna be here till the end of it. And if you guys need me to respond to any questions after the call, obviously let me know. You have the community, either the normal academy or my school community, whatever it is. You guys have options to get some support on Sunflow. Yes, you can also clone your own voices, Lewis. Sorry, not you're telling them, but yeah, Lewis, you're right about that. Hmm. Actually, for the voice cloning inside of 11 Labs, you could also use like the professional voice cloning, which is 10 minutes as well, Lewis, which is pretty cool. And then that voice comes out way better than just the normal voice clone. Really? You tried to join it? It doesn't work? Interesting. That's like the only invite here. Um, Interesting. That's weird. So this doesn't work. The link right there doesn't work. And if anything, right, shoot me a text. You guys literally have all my information as well. Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, you can, man. There's a professional voice cloning. Let me show you. So you go to voices, professional voice cloning, right here. 10 minutes. You know how long I stood? You know how long I had to talk to this like AI? Or no, so you know how long I had to talk to myself for 10 minutes? Like, I had nothing to do. I was just talking to myself. I was like the longest 10 minutes of my life. I was talking about nothing. Really? Goes around in a loop, doesn't let me in. Interesting. Interesting. That's weird. Do you already have an account maybe with school? Either way, send me a text. Okay, that let me get into the group. Okay. Yeah, we do gotta have a conversation, man. Perfect. If that let you in the group, that's awesome. If you guys have any other doubts or questions, obviously let me know. But I think we should be good. And thank you so much, guys, for joining up today. It's really good to see new faces that I haven't seen before. And honestly, the webinars are only going to get better and better from here on out. So I can tell you guys right now, I'm very excited where Voice AI is going. Hopefully, I'm leading it in the right direction in a sense. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining up. I appreciate it, every single one of you. Definitely check out the YouTube. It's gonna be I'm gonna be posting a lot more now. It's way better content than it was before. So I'm gonna go more towards that route as well. So I'm very excited about that. And yeah, thank you guys. I will see you guys in the next one.